Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel. The Premier League is back. So here are my score predictions for game week 1 of the new 2025-26 Premier League season. Now the first couple game weeks of a new season is always hard to predict as you've not got anything to go off. But let's just get straight into it, where title holders Liverpool are taking on Bournemouth at Anfield on the Friday night, where I only expect one winner in this one. I'll back Liverpool to take all 3 points and to start off their campaign really strongly in a 3-1 victory over the Cherries. I think we'll see a good season from Bournemouth again this season. I predict them to finish around mid-table, maybe a little bit lower than they did last season, but I still think they'll do all right. But against Liverpool here, I think it's going to be just too much for them in the end. I will back them to score 1, but a Liverpool win for me, for them to do it quite comfortably as well. Next up, on to Villa Park, where Aston Villa are taking on Newcastle United. There's normally a good game whenever these two sides play each other. There's normally a load of goals, and I hope that's not going to change considering it's the first game of the season, because this is one of the fixtures that's always a pretty tasty one whenever it is played. I'm going to back the home side in this one, but I'll think it's going to be tight and I think there's going to be goals. I'm going to go for a 3-2 narrow win for Aston Villa. It'll be a narrow win, but hopefully it'll be an entertaining one. Next up, on to the Amex Stadium, where Brighton Hove Albion are taking on Fulham. This one's going to be another close one. I have both of these teams to finish mid-table. Fulham do have a really good record against Brighton, so that's what's just going to make me edge them over Brighton in this one. I think they'll pick up a narrow 1-0 away win, Fulham, in this one. And then on to the Stadium of Light, Sunderland's return. They're finally back and they've got a pretty decent game to open their season against West Ham, who did struggle last season. I do think that they will kick on under Graham Potter though, and I do think they'll improve on last season. And Sunderland, although they have made some pretty big signings, I said it in my Premier League full table prediction video, I just don't think it'll be enough, because the gap is just too big between the sides that are going to be fighting with relegation and then compared to the ones that are actually going to drop at the end of the season. There's just too much quality difference. But they will be up for it, Sunderland fans, and first game of the season, home as well. I'm going to back them to pick up a point in this one. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. I think it's going to be a really tough game for West Ham. I think as we get further on into the season, teams start doing their homework on other teams. I think Sunderland, along with like Leeds and Burnley, the other relegation favourites, they'll get sussed out slowly. But I think it'll be a tough one for West Ham to start off the season, and it'll be a good point to start off the season for Sunderland. So 1-1 during this one. Next up, on to Tottenham against Burnley next. Another team that's just got promoted from the Championship. And Tottenham, of course, really bad season last season in the league. Europa League winners. I think this season under Thomas Frank, Tottenham are going to improve massively. I think they'll start off with a win here. A nice, comfortable 2-0 win to start off their season against Burnley. And yeah, I think we're going to see something special under Thomas Frank with Tottenham. I think there's going to be a big change, unlike what we have seen in previous seasons from Tottenham. Next up, onto the Molineux, Wolverhampton Wanderers against Man City. I have Wolverhampton Wanderers to be in a relegation fight just like they were last season. I do think they will just survive, but I do think Man City will win in this game. I'll go for another comfortable 2-0 victory in this one, away win. And next, onto the Sunday games, where Chelsea take on Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge, two London clubs. Crystal Palace yesterday beating Liverpool in the Community Shield in a penalty shootout after a 2-2 draw. It was a decent performance from them, but are they ready to go into the league now, especially against Chelsea as well, who have got such a strong squad, so many big names. But again, it's just like with past seasons with Chelsea. Are we going to see something big from them? Of course, winning the Club World Cup. are they going to kick on and are we going to see a title race with Chelsea? I don't think so. I do think that they're going to just be fighting for the European spots, especially with them being in the Champions League this season as well. I think as the season kicks on, I know they've got the squad depth, so they might be fine with that. But I am going to back Chelsea to get all 3 points in this one over Crystal Palace. It'll be a close one. I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to Chelsea. Onto the City ground now, where Nottingham Forest taking on Brentford. This one's actually going to be a pretty close game because I've got these two clubs to actually finish quite near each other in my table prediction. I do think Nottingham Forest are going to have a fall off from last season. Without trying to sound any disrespectful, I do think that Nottingham Forest found themselves in a little bit of a false position last season. They had some great games, but some great performances. But I think they'll drop off to where their usual position will be, and I don't think they'll struggle at all. I think I have them to finish low mid-table, and I think in the future as well that they're gonna stay a solid Premier League team as well. But I don't think we'll see Nottingham Forest challenging for Europe places this season. Is what I'm getting at. Brentford, it's going to be their first game without Thomas Frank. They've lost some big names as well. I am going to have Nottingham Forest just to narrowly beat them. I'm going to go for another 2-1 scoreline in this one. I'm going to back the home side. Also, Nottingham will be, considering the season they did have last season, although I do think they'll slowly drop off as the season goes on. I think it'll all be fresh and they'll want to go again. So I think they'll start off with a win. I'm going to back them to pick up all 3 points in this one. And then the penultimate game, this one, big game of match day one at Old Trafford, Manchester United against Arsenal. I'm going to say that this is my first shock result of the week. I do think Arsenal will have a better season than Man United, but I can just see Man United just snatching all 3 points in this one. I'm going to go just for a 1-0 win to Man United. I think it's going to be such a robbery from them, and it's going to be unfortunate for Arsenal. I think you're going to have a great season, especially with the signing of Gyökeres. Definitely a much needed striker for you guys, and you're gonna push Liverpool all the way this season. But I don't think it's going to start off with any points for you. I'm going to back Man United to pick up all 3 points in this one. As I said, just narrow snatch and grab 1-0 win. And then we finish off with the final newly promoted side, Leeds United, facing Everton. Another pretty decent game for a newly promoted side. Everton did struggle last season. Under David Moyes, they picked it up towards the end of last season, and I do have them to finish mid-table as well this season. I think they'll kick on under David Moyes, like I said, with Graham Potter at West Ham. But just being the first game of the season, Leeds at home as well, it's going to be a tough game for Everton. It's going to be a boring one to finish off on. I think it'll be a 0-0 draw, but I think Leeds United, I was going to say that I think they'll take a point to start off the season, but Everton, I suppose if you've got any chances of surviving in the Premier League, you've got to be looking to take the game to Everton, because you're not going to find much easier games than this one. But I'm going to go for a point in this one to wrap up my Game Week 1 score prediction video. If you did enjoy, please do leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you are not already, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye.